Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome to the Healing Station. Here at the Healing Station, we receive our healing. We receive our healing for physical sickness. We receive our healing for emotional problems. We receive our healing for mental problems. We receive our healing for financial problems. We receive our healing for any other problem we could be having. At the same time, we become healing stations and we bring healing to others. We become healing stations, and God uses us as vessels to bring healing to others. In chapter 9, Acts chapter 9, Simon Peter is living in a place called Lydda. In this place called Lydda, there's a man called Aeneas. Aeneas has been ill, has been sick for 8 years now, bedridden with the palsy. And Simeon Peter prays for him, and he receives his healing immediately. He receives his healing suddenly. He receives his healing at once, and he rises. He rises, and he enjoys complete recovery. While Aeneas is enjoying complete recovery, our dear friend Tabitha is sick. Tabitha lives in Joppa, a disciple, devoted, and an alms giver. She's been making clothes for the ladies. She's been making garments for the ladies. Tabitha dies, and they lay her body in the upper chamber, and they wail and they wail and they weep. Then they send two saints to Lydda to ask Simon Peter to come to come urgently. And Simon Peter comes to Joppa. They've said, please come urgently. So he comes to Joppa. When he comes, they show him all the garments that she made before she died. All the garments. And they weep again. And they weep again. And he says, please let me pray. And I need for you people to leave the room. So they leave the room. So he's in the room with the lady who has now passed. And he prays. And after he has prayed, he says, Tabitha, arise. He addresses the body and says, Tabitha, arise. And Tabitha opens her eyes and sees the apostle and sits on her bed. And Simon Peter calls them and shows them, presents to them alive, Tabitha alive again. Presents to them, Tabitha alive again. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. And people fear. And they fear God. People believe. Many come to believe in God because of this miracle. Why is Tabitha alive? Tabitha is alive because she's been an aggressive giver. Aggressive giving is a weapon. Is a weapon even against death. Tabitha is alive because she's been an aggressive giver. Aggressive giver. They would have easily buried her quietly. They would have buried her, but they didn't. Instead, they fought for her. They fought for her. They went out of their way and made an effort to find the man of God, the apostle, to come for prayers, and the prayers worked. Tabitha is alive today because she's an aggressive giver. Tabitha, arise. That word arise is a beautiful word. It is the same word that God uses to address the Prophet Elijah. The prophet Elijah prophesied that there's going to be famine. Indeed, he's the one who spoke famine into the land. He said it's not going to rain for 3.5 years. So he's been staying at the brook of Cherith, and the ravens have been feeding him there. God had commanded the ravens to feed him there. But then the water at the brook begins to dry up, and God says, arise, arise, and go to Zarephath. I've commanded a widow woman there to sustain you. So he goes to Zarephath. When he gets there, he finds the widow fetching two sticks of wood to prepare the last meal for herself and her son. And he calls her and says, please bring me some water to drink. And while she's going to fetch the water to drink, he calls her again and says, and make me a bread. Make me a bread also. And he says, oh no, this is not going to be easy. The first task of water, bring me water to drink, that was easy. But the second task is not so easy because the flour we are using is the only flour left. Tonight when I prepare that meal, the flour and the oil, that will be the end of it. This is our last supper. We're eating, then we start to wait to die. And the man of God says, no, go ahead and prepare for me a bread first and see if the flour will not continue. Well, because God is saying that the flour will continue, that the flour will not run out, and the oil will not run out until the famine is over, until there's food again. So the widow of Zarephath takes a step of faith and goes ahead to prepare a meal first for the prophet and then for herself and her son. And they did it many days. They did it many days. The flour didn't run out and the oil didn't run out. Every day she'd go to cook, she'd find the same size of flour, the same size of oil. She'd cook again and the same size of flour and the same size of oil until the day the famine stopped. Giving, aggressive giving may mean the aggressive giving means that we are going to live. Even when death has already beckoned, we actually go on living because of being aggressive givers. Aggressive givers. Aggressive giving may be the difference between death and life, between the difference between death and life. Today at the healing station, we are saying, may we become aggressive givers so that we may live and so that our sons may live. Kindly share, subscribe, like, comment, and become an aggressive giver so that you may live and so that your family may live. Until we meet again, bye bye. Healing Stations.